Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to each one of you. Hope you and your near and dear ones are safe and healthy. Welcome to International Women's Day Celebration 2021. The theme of this event is Choose to Rise. This event is brought to you by PMI South Asia chapters. My name is Saili Pradhan, a volunteer and AVP secretary with PMI Mumbai chapter. I am an IT management professional and a coach.
Hi, I'm Mimi George, a volunteer and lead with PMI Educational Foundation, PMI Kerala chapter, and we are anchoring today's event.
As we begin, I would like to mention a few callouts. Please use the WebEx chat window to post your queries. PDF information will be shared towards the end of the session. Post our online session, we will be continuing with an exciting networking session. Instructions will be shared at the end of the event, so stay tuned. Today's virtual event is supported by all the chapters of PMI Region 11. I would now like to invite Komal Mathur to welcome you all. Komal is an experienced healthcare professional with over a decade of volunteering experience for PMI in various positions. She serves as the General Secretary for PMI Pearl City, Hyderabad chapter and the Chair of PMI South Asia Women Engagement Committee. We are all eager to know more about Empower Women in Project Management Initiative. Over to you, Komal.
Thank you, Sayali. Very good morning, good evening to all. On this exciting day, a very warm welcome to all of you. On behalf of the PMI South Asia Project Management Community, I wish to welcome our special guests, Otema Yirenkyi, Speight, Rushdina Khan, Anita Peter, and our very own Dr. Srini Srinivasan. Today is a very special day, a day we dedicate to acknowledge the challenges, diligence, and resilience of women and to celebrate their success. On this August occasion, I would like to congratulate all the women in project management, PMI members and non-members, credential holders, and volunteers. Happy Women's Day to all of you. I take this opportunity to present the strong-willed and committed change makers of our region. They are not only enrich our chapter boards, but also inspire and mentor the young professionals. I really love this picture. Our region has also added a very young volunteer to the pool of global PMI volunteers. Our region now also has a woman, Eric Bennett, Project Management Excellence Awardee. 2020 was a biggest disruptive year in the history and accelerated the digital transformation across all domains. PMI and our chapters quickly responded to this challenge and strengthened their virtual offerings. It also provided us with an opportunity to conceptualize and launch new initiatives. During this period, all the PMI South Asia chapters came together, collaborated, and embarked on an exciting regional initiative, Empower Women in Project Management, an initiative aimed at empowering women and developing an inclusive and engaging project management community. This initiative will provide a platform to all our women members to feel inspired and feel safe and confident to engage and enrich. We rolled out a survey to capture the voice of our women members and also to understand what we can do to help the women leverage chapter networking and learning opportunities, what help and support they need to stay invested in their careers and profession, and how we can inspire more women to volunteer for the chapter and global opportunities. The results showed that the challenges of women professionals are common across our region. So in collaboration with our chapters, we will be rolling out programs over a period of time, and we hope to see a more diverse member community, more women taking up professional development courses and earning credentials, more women volunteering and engaging with our chapter programs, and a more vibrant chapter boards. The world is changing, and so are the challenges and opportunities for women professionals. So we will continue to ideate, strategize, and sharpen our offerings. We have an exciting evening ahead. Without taking much time, let me quickly introduce the force driving this initiative to make this difference in the project management community. The 11-member Women Engagement Committee with one passionate volunteer leader from each chapter. We have Ishwari Rao, a seasoned volunteer with PMI Bangalore chapter, Anisha Ahmed, a socially active volunteer from Bangladesh chapter, Vijay Lakshmi Ramachandran, an enterprising volunteer from Chennai chapter, Anuja Hemanti, a lively volunteer from Sri Lanka chapter, Meenakshi Vaishnav, a passionate volunteer from Gujarat chapter, Akhila Gauri Shankar, a meticulous volunteer and a bundle of energy from Kerala chapter, Swati Damble, an inspiring volunteer from Mumbai chapter, Nilima Chakra, a communication specialist from North India chapter, Sangeeta Kanse, a spirited volunteer from Pune Deccan chapter, and Devjani Gupta, a dynamic volunteer from West Bengal chapter. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all our South Asia volunteers, chapter leaders, presidents, and our region mentor, Girish Kadam, for their valuable insights and support for this impacting initiative. On behalf of PMI South Asia's Women Engagement Committee, I appeal to one and all to be part of this initiative and help promote a culture of inclusion and engagement in the chapter boards, volunteering, and membership. So let us all choose to rise. Only together we can bring a change to make diversity, equality, inclusion of equal priority. Thank you.
Thank you, Komal, for introducing us to the members of WEC and the exciting Empower Women in Project Management initiative, and for your warm welcome. It is my pleasure to introduce to you today Dr. Srini Srinivasan, Regional Managing Director, South Asia Project Management Institute. Dr. Srini has over 30 years of global professional experience as a CEO. He has managed complex multi-geography, multi-BU transformation projects, and has been involved in 5 successful startups in areas as diverse as biomedical technology, consulting services, outsourcing, and knowledge management. We would love to hear from you, sir.
Thank you, Nimi, and greetings to all of you. It's a privilege for my team and me to be part of this important event. And I just want to kick this off by telling you how much this whole DEI initiative and the initiative by the R11 chapters for women empowerment is something that we feel extremely important for us. And therefore, my team and I stand behind you, and we are there to support you as you move this forward. My senior colleagues, Atima and Megan, will be on stage soon, and they will speak with more authority and passion than I can on DEI. But let me just share with you why this is important to us in this region, in R11. Not that it's not important in other places, but particularly in this region, we feel that it makes good business sense to have diversity, equity, and inclusion wherever possible. For example, McKinsey has pointed out in a recent study that organizations with active DEI initiatives are generally about 40% more profitable than organizations that are not. And there is another key reason why this is important to us in R11, and that is the 4.0 strategy unveiled by PMI, which many of you have already spent time looking at, really places a focus on social good and on social impact, especially integrating the social impact. And our privilege is that all the efforts by the Region 11 chapters have already started to focus on social impact. And therefore, it is even more of a privilege for us to be able to support this in your journey. We in this region have been looking at a number of ways to support this. For example, many of you know that we created a website called Career Connect, which allows people to be able to connect from an employer-employee standpoint, both informally and formally. We have partnered with NASCOM and Women in Technology to look at different initiatives. We are exploring opportunities with women-specific platforms like Jobs for Her. But most importantly, we are focused on helping women get into project management roles in a much more concerted way than has been possible before. And we're doing that through our strategy of looking at our audience as change makers, not just the traditional project manager role, but anybody within an organization that is helping make change happen. And you'll hear from my colleagues later on about how we are positioning to be able to support this much larger change management community. And last but not least, on a personal note, it's a privilege for me to be part of this event, because when I look around and think about who my mentors are in project management, guess what? Most of them are women, strong women with deep passion. The Komals, the Anishas, the Shawns, the Suvarnas and Priyas on my team, the Brantlees, the Otemas, the Megan Speight's, and you name it. Those are the kind of people that come to my mind. So my last, my concluding message to all of you is, don't look too far in terms of role models, in terms of mentors, because they are all around you. So please take advantage of this enormous talent pool that we have here, and my very, very best wishes to this event and to your larger journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights and experiences. Women power, I think, excellent start. You have been a great support to us. Thank you so much. I would now like to invite Ms. Megan Speight, Public Relations Coordinator, PMI, for the opening keynote. Megan is a member of the Board of Directors for Project 440, as well as chairs the Marketing Advisory Committee and a member of the Junior League of Philadelphia. She has worked in both non-profit and for-profit organizations such as Comcast, the National Constitution Center, and Maternity Care Coalition. In her current role, she works with cross-functional teams to assist in developing effective and impactful PR strategy and supports the implementation of marketing promotional campaigns from a PR perspective. Welcome, Megan. Over to you.
Thank you very, very much. I'm so sorry to ask this, but could I just have presenters so I could share my slides? Okay, well, no problem. So I'll just go ahead and get into things. Perfect. Thank you so much. Bear with me. All right, thank you very much, everyone. And Saili, thank you very much for the introduction. And of course, happy International Women's Day to everyone. I am thrilled to be here today representing my role as PMI's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Head, even though my title does read PR Coordinator. So thank you again for having me here with you. A little bit about PMI's DE&I program. The formal program did start with discussions by the board at the end of 2019, asking what more can we do for our community. In 2020, we formally gathered an internal core team that laid the foundation for this program. Initially, I was appointed to the core team as a communications lead because I do come from a background of working towards equity. This year, I was selected and stepped up to take on the role as head of that team as we focus our discussions and topics around gender equity. So as I was coming up with what I wanted to discuss today, I was really reminded of my youth and why I am who I am today. When growing up, my report card often came back with, "She works well with others and understands, but often talks out of turn and has many side conversations." Quite frankly, the nice way of saying Megan talks too much. I talk so much that many times I ended up in leadership roles because my peers listened to what I had to say and truly respected it. Today, I unapologetically use my voice to uplift those around me because I know the next generation will have a better future because of it. I chose to step up because I know that I have the power to make an impact and support others who do so as well. Leadership roles come in a few different shapes and sizes. Of course, there's the person who everyone naturally gravitates to, listens to, and looks to for direction. However, a leader is also the individual in the group who may not have the title, but is the one who is the first to continue on the path of the leader and reassures the group that they made the correct decision on who to trust. Excellent projects are delivered by excellent teams that are diverse and have strong leadership. Not just the one leading with the role of team leader, but also the leaders who lead from behind. As a leader in any capacity of the role, it is important to be forward-thinking and stay ahead of the curve. One way to ensure that this happens is through continued education or upskilling. A mantra that I always fall back on, that I learned really from a university professor, was that in life and as a leader, you always want to be a green apple. Green apples are open and able to learn new things and are more apt to be agile as new systems and practices are introduced and established. We all know that green apples typically turn to red once they become more ripe. And when you become a red apple, you are really at that point where you're almost ready to spoil. And you're not in a place to take on more nutrients or more education or more knowledge from anyone around you. So that's why you do always want to be a green apple. So you can continue learning and continue applying what you learned to everyone in the real world and everyone around you. Leaders who are always learning truly know the value of a diverse and inclusive team and the direct impact they have on developing and delivering project excellence, which has been proven in our most recent Pulse of the Profession. So we know that projects have the power to make a better world, and the project economy is the best way to move organizations and, quite frankly, the world forward. PMI's latest Pulse of the Profession report quite timely focuses on the importance of social impact. A few key elements from that report can really help expand project management's world, incorporate diversity, equity, and inclusion, as well as promote allyship and education. From that report, it encourages that 1, turning social impact into a competitive edge. This can be done by generating positive social impact. It not only improves the communities that we live in, but it can also help companies boost the bottom line and truly retain that top talent, no matter what level they are. It also found that social impact should be a strategic priority, emphasizing careful, intentional planning and securing stakeholder support from inside and outside the organization ensures that positive social impact is truly ingrained into the company DNA. Sharing these findings is just the beginning for PMI. While we already are the leader in project management, we're truly laying the foundation to encourage, support, and guide teams in the power of diversity, inclusion, and equity. We start by showing the value of a diverse team. A key component of building agile and diverse teams is tapping into a wide range of perspectives and viewpoints. 88, let's hear that again, 88% of professionals surveyed said that diverse teams increase value, and organizations with culturally diverse leadership were associated with higher organizational performance. It's understandable that the pandemic has shifted priorities at many organizations, which have rightly put personal health and safety above everything. However, a study from the Institute for Corporate Productivity, found that more than a quarter of organizations have put most diversity and inclusion initiatives on hold because of this pandemic. That's a massive mistake. When we consider that inclusion isn't just the right thing to do, it also makes the most business sense. In order to attain growth, we need to be inclusive. Inclusivity brings creativity and diversity. We believe that diverse teams lead to project excellence. And quite frankly, isn't that all what we're striving for? So what can you do to lead, and how can it be done within PMI? First things first, always remember that you have the power to make an impact. As a member of PMI and a volunteer or another capacity that you hold in relation to PMI, you can search for a wide range of long and short-term volunteer opportunities through the Volunteer Relationship Management System. It can be found by typing into your browser vrms@pmi.org. There are many reasons you should volunteer with PMI. You can network on a global scale. You can learn new resume-worthy skills, learn from your peers. It's also an opportunity to hone and practice your leadership and soft skills in a non-threatening environment. Share your passion for project management or business analysis. When those who look like you see you in this space, they can imagine themselves in this space. That great term that we often hear, representation matters, it truly matters. I can share a story of when I was younger, an aspiration I had was to be a justice of the Supreme Court here in the United States. I've taken a different path at this point, but that came from when I was in middle school. We had Justice Sandra Day O'Connor come to our school to give us a talk. She explained the importance of having a woman in that position. And for me, it really made an impact. I had many different aspirations since then. However, what always stuck to me is that I need to follow my dreams no matter where they lead me. It just so happened that my dreams have led me different from being a Supreme Court nominee. However, that drive is still there. My willingness and ambition to accomplish what I have out in front of me will not waver. And that is because I have seen other people in my role. I know that if they can do it, I can do it too. Going back to, again, why you can always use different opportunities, specifically volunteering, it's because it does make a positive difference. I just shared my experience, and I know that everyone, not necessarily in this room, but in this virtual space, has had very similar experiences as I have. Well, as we work towards an equitable future, you can truly enable the next generation of leaders and project professionals by sharing your knowledge to help them succeed and learn from others, to expand your own knowledge as well as further your own career. So it's really that double side of having an impact. You're helping others, but you're also helping yourself. So as a member of PMI's core team, we aim to foster an environment where individuals feel included, not just on a personal level, but also professionally. We want to ensure our differences are truly celebrated. It is fact that these differences lead to the growth and success of our organization, our profession, and our community. We look forward to seeing this community grow with representation. We have the opportunity to choose to make a difference that will impact the future. What will you do to make your mark? And how will you choose to rise? Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Megan, for that interesting insights from PMI. Nimi, over to you.
No problem.
Use your voice, stand out, be the leader, not only from the front, but also from behind. Thank you, Megan. What more do we need to get inspired from you? Thank you for highlighting on our journey towards an enabled, equitable future and PMI's vision to drive an inclusive culture. In your honor, a cluster of 2 saplings have been planted at Sundarbans National Park, West Bengal, India. Now let us watch. Yeah, our pleasure, Megan. Now let us watch a short compilation of video messages by some of our successful PMI South Asia women members.
Wow, it was amazing and inspiring to watch our women in project management sharing their thoughts and insights. Thank you, all the ladies, for the wonderful messages. When we choose to rise, we are all faced by challenges. Our next speaker today, Ms. Anita Peter, will help us understand how to face them. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome Ms. Anita Peter, author of the book To Win Your Battles, Stay Alive, an avid motorbiker and eminent Mohiniyattam dancer, founder of Lasya Dhruta, Center for Performing and Fine Art, Hyderabad. She works with Persona Script as a CEO and is also the initiator of social cause I Pledge Awareness for change, through which she facilitates programs on social responsibilities and the need for awareness to bring about any transformation. Let us hear from Anita. Welcome, Anita.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, great. First of all, it gives me immense happiness to be here with around 205 participants that I can see. And today is the International Women's Day. So I wish all of you a very happy Women's Day. So before I begin, I would just like to throw light on a statement that most of the time I hear. Why is it that women need a special day like March 8th to celebrate? After all, isn't every day a Women's Day? But this is when I would like to remind that Women's Day is a day that was dedicated to mark the revolution that was created, remembering what we have come along a long way to reach where we have reached today. And sometimes along the journey, we tend to forget, every woman tends to forget that a few women are the reason why we are able to enjoy the privileges that we have today. So we need to keep that in mind and celebrate what they have done for us. So today, the theme for the project management Women's Day celebration is I chose to focus on the alphabet, that is RISE. So let's go ahead with it. So many a time, each one of us as a woman are groomed in a manner that we are taught how to behave, why it is important to ensure that we do our duties, our responsibilities, and how important is behavior to ensure that we don't hurt anybody, and at the same time, it is very important for us to prioritize everybody else, their happiness, and how important it is that we take care of the other person. So we are groomed in that manner. What we fail to understand is that through this grooming and also through the education that we are given, ultimately we lose a part of ourselves in the conflict of finding our identity, pursuing our passion, achieving our dreams, and at the same time living to social expectations that are so rigidly put forth right before. So this is where we tend to fall, because the changes that a woman goes through is something that one can never imagine. Right from the time of changing her surname, as we all are familiar with in India, from the time she gets married, she has a new family, her name changes to something else, and after which she has to learn to adjust to each and every single person that comes into her life, and thus compromising on who she actually is as an individual. So these changes could either take you to a point where a few years later you turn back and you just can't identify with who is this person that I was. And then it could leave some room for regret. Or I want all of you to remember stands for resilience. Why is it that we need to bounce back, and how do we go about doing it? The first thing to bounce back, we need to understand what is it that we want to reach, or how much do we want to reach as an individual in our lives that we are, I would say, bestowed upon? Because it is very important to understand, as cliched as it sounds, life is a blessing, it is a gift, it is all that to us. But this life that we are blessed with, how much are we going to make use of, and how much are we, I would say, entitled to live? On whose terms? On whose expectations? So we need to identify with ourselves as to what is it that we want to reach for ourselves. So there is one line that I always tell people: the standard of our life is based on the standards that we set for ourselves. So I want all of you to understand, if we have to rise, we have to set standards for ourselves, set certain hopes for ourselves that we would like to reach this far in our lives that we are living, through the journey that we are continuing until the day we can. So that's the first thing that I want all of you to do. Just ponder upon it. How resilient do I have to be to bounce back, to be able to reach the level that I have envisioned or visualized for myself? From there, I would like to take you all to the next alphabet, that is I in the rise. Now, I is very important because I does not have anything else but the term I, me as a person. Who am I answerable to? Now, we tend to be answerable to everybody around us who has one or the other thing to tell us. Either it is reminding us of our duties, our responsibilities, it is reminding you that you are a woman and that you have a family that you are responsible for. Then we are also subjected to sometimes emotional manipulation, guilt manipulation, which later on leads to regret. So the first question, remember that. Who am I answerable to? Ask yourself that question. Because when I answered this, all I could say is, I'm only answerable to myself. Because I need to be able to own my life, to be able to give myself an answer. Why did I do this to myself? What did I do to myself? The next question in the I that we need to ask is, what do I want for myself? Have you ever thought, okay, socially we are always told you need a family, you need a husband, you need your children. Yes, that is something that is there. It is something that has its own journey, and it is a part of us. We are so inclined towards, we have pride in ourselves. We have people, women who lead in responsible designations, and they never ever forgo their family, because women are made with that strength to be able to multitask and also balance their career as well as their home, if they are given space, if they are respected, if they are appreciated, and if they are not made to feel guilty each day that they are doing something wrong. So ask yourself, what do I want for myself? When I answered that for myself, all I knew was that I want to age gracefully. And I want to be able to earn the respect that I want for myself. And for that, I'm going to start working towards it by bringing about a change in the way I think. It may not match what socially is, I would say, prescribed for me in the culture and community that I am in. But then I will live up to the changes, and I will make sure that I bring about a difference in that thinking. The next question you need to ask, apart from who I'm answerable to and what do I want for myself, the third question is, how do I want to be known as? Now, when it comes to this, how do I want to be known as? We need to ask ourselves, because I would like to just share a small story with you. When I was planning to ride from Hyderabad to Kanyakumari to Kashmir and back to Hyderabad, several people told me that Anita, you're a mother, you have a job, you have so many things on your head. If you do this, what if something happens? You're being so irresponsible without thinking about your family, without thinking about your job. You're trying to achieve something for yourself. My daughter told me one thing that I'll never forget for my whole life. She said, Amma, what are you frightened of? I said, people tell me that if something happens, what if I die? She said, if you go for this ride and something were to happen to you, I know that something happened to you while you did something that made you totally happy. You never stepped back. But if you complete your ride and come back, nobody else will be as happy for you as I would. And I know that my mother did not back off with what other people told her, but she followed her heart. She completed what she had to do, and she is the perfect woman to me. And she will instill in me the confidence that if you want to do something, you can make it happen. Because as a mother, you're a perfect mother to us. Forget what the world says. So this is what I would like to be known as a person who never steps back. If I take my right leg forward, I will take my left leg along with it and not in fear taking it back. The next question is, when could I begin? There are several times that we are not able to take that one decision, let's do it. Many a times I myself have said, oh, it's okay, I'm going to start from Monday. Or maybe let's wait for New Year, my resolution. Or maybe next month. Or probably when my child is this year, this old, when my child goes to college, when my husband is settled, when I have so many things that, are looked after at home. But trust me, that's not going to happen. Because with each passing day, it paves way for something new, something that is so unknown to me that just pops up. There's never a day that is totally clear telling you that, come on, today is the day that every problem is over and you're not going to face it. It's never going to happen. So I would say, when could I begin? I will start right now. If I make a decision, I work towards the planning, work towards the organizing, and I'm not going to wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow may or may not come, but this day I will make it worthwhile. And I will make it so worthwhile that it is going to make sure that I will be able to be that person who I want to be known as. I know that I will work towards it from this moment as to what I want to do for myself. And what I want to do myself is to be a good role model for the society and giving back to society. And who am I answerable to? I'm answerable to myself. The last question that we need to ask ourselves is, where will I find that solution? Many a times we look around us, or we wait to listen to that one motivational talk, and that inspires us, that really takes us to the next level. But the second day, the problem still persists. So many hurdles in front of us. We need to hear the next motivational talk, and the next, and the next. But trust me, the answer and the solution does not lie anywhere. It lies within you. I have listened to so many people at my time in my life when I felt low. I listened to them, and it was definitely inspiring to me. It did make a difference when I heard it. But it was only until I started identifying with myself as, Anita, who is it that I'm answerable to? I'm answerable to myself. What do I want for myself? How do I want to be known as? Where do I have to begin? When do I have to begin? And where will I find the solution? The solution lies within me. That is, do I really want it? The answer was yes. I wanted to be that change. I wanted to make a difference. So please ask these questions to yourself for the I, because you need to decide what is the value that you give yourself. You are worth it. You are priceless. Identify with your worth and own your life. Write your story. S, I would say, is start. Start. I would like to take you to this one little story that I would say. As it was told to you earlier, I did write a book that is To Win Your Battles, Stay Alive. The reason I wrote that book was, each of us have our own battles that we struggle and we strive and we fight it. It could be inner battles that we struggle with. It could be somebody else who's a trigger in our lives. Maybe it is so difficult to manage your strength. You're just tired. So it's so important to understand stay alive is the most important thing. It's not just that you are bestowed with a gift of life, but in this life you have to stay alive. It took me a while to realize this because to be able to stay alive, you need to nurture yourself, you need to pamper yourself, you need to love yourself first. I have really been able to identify with the term selfish. What I say is if stylish is a word, I think self, S-E-L-F, in quotes, ish, selfish. It's not wrong to be selfish sometimes. Because if you are able to love yourself and if you are able to be happy, that's when that love and happiness would definitely flow outside, and you would be grateful enough to be able to create that impact within your family, at your workspace, and also be that beautiful, graceful person who could actually make an impact all around you. So stay alive and also start to stay. The last alphabet is that of empower. As much as we talk about empower, we talk about empowerment, women empowerment, but I would like to say that empowerment speaks no gender. Trust me. So I wouldn't say it is right to say empowerment or fighting for something like that. It is the empowerment speaks no gender. It's just that you are giving everybody the right to be who they want to be, respecting that. In empowerment, the most important, I would say the most important fact that we need to remember is in empowerment, we should learn how to delegate. A simple thing in delegation, I would say, I've come across women who say that, oh my God, my husband doesn't know how to keep the house clean. He doesn't, he's just quite messy. He doesn't know how to make rotis or chapatis. My children, if I don't put the clothes in the laundry, my children are not going to do it. If I don't clean the house, yes, it's because you have chosen to be wherever you are expected to be. You have not empowered them or delegated them with the ability to do, it's okay, you do it. So what I practiced in my life is I just started telling people that today I'm going to do this much and let's all divide our work. It may not be done one day, second day. I say, okay, you didn't do it the previous day, do it today. You didn't do it the previous 2 days, do it the third day. Eventually they will. Now, suppose if they are going to make, let's say your husband or children are going to make rotis, and so one day it looks like Australia, the other day it looks like another, another continent. Europe, London, it looks like let it just take any shape that it wants. Any of the day you are going to eat it, and the shape does not matter. So what happens is most of the time as women, we tend to look at that perfection and we feel nobody can do it better than us. And what we do is we make our families so dependent on us. Empowerment is all about making the other person independent, confident, and also giving them the responsibility. Tomorrow, they should not feel that they are just totally lost. So start delegating and empowering people within your home and start working as a team within your home. And that surely is going to build a support system around you. And instead of, most of the time, I believe it is all in the narrative that we have, in, the way we say things, the way we look at things, and the way we keep repeating it to ourselves. So it is very important. So when we empower people, that is people who are around us, when we delegate responsibilities, when we don't expect things to be so perfect, and through the days they will eventually learn, that is when I would say, we will be able to understand what it really means to have a supporting team around us, because we have chosen to empower them and we have chosen to delegate. I would just like us to just recap to whatever I've spoken. We need to be resilient to bounce back from all the changes that go on in our lives, because that's never going to stop. Reach as much as you can, stretch as much as you can, because the power that you have and what you are capable of is so immense. And only if you jump into the ocean do you know how much more remains to be explored. Ask the questions to I each time. Who am I answerable to? What do I want for myself? How do I want to be known as? When could I begin? And where will I find the solution? Start today. Stay alive. That's so important. To win your battles each day, all you need to do is stay alive. Toughest, but yes, you do that, and trust me, you will not leave room for regret. The last but not the least is empower people around you. It is all about what you did and what you want to see yourself as. To rise, this is what you need to do. Happy Women's Day, and I enjoy being with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Anita, for this powerful message of empowerment and really a good lesson about delegation. You have asked and we have to rise. And you truly said that nobody else will help us in us rising above. And I think you reminded me of Gandhi, who said, be the change you want to see in others. So if you want to see in others, if you want to see others happy, I think we have to be happy, and that for that we have to work for ourselves. Thank you very much. And we are very grateful to have you today.
Thank you
In
so
your
much.
honor, a cluster of 2 saplings have been planted at Sundarbans National Park, West Bengal, India. Thank you very much. Next, I would like to introduce to you another successful woman who chose to rise, Ms. Rushdina Khan, CEO, Growthaholics Associate Partner, People Builders. Rushdina works on reinforcing and refurbishing the knowledge, skills, competencies, and habits of people in the workplace, which helps organizations to succeed in their professional endeavors. She is a certified NLP practitioner and has achieved the Global Training and Development Award, Leadership Award 2017 from World HRD Congress, Mumbai. Rushdina has delivered more than 600 training and mentoring sessions. Welcome, Rushdina. The platform is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm really honored to be able to speak at this wonderful event and to share my thoughts from my own experiences. So I would like to share a little presentation of mine, and I'd like to once again take a trainer's seat, which I often do as a part of my profession. So here goes my presentation slide. Bear with me. Right, so the topic of my presentation, I was told to deliver on the path to personal power in this VUCA world. So which is of course very necessary, not only for women, also for men. Now, today being the International Women's Day, I'm going to talk on a women's perspective. So here we go. So we already know what VUCA world is. It's volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So I'm going to dive into a little detail. So when it comes to volatility, what comes to our mind is, in this ever-changing world, the challenges are most of the time unexpected, inconsistent, and maybe of unknown duration. But we know that we can find out and learn about it. For instance, during the past 1 year of pandemic, women and girls in science have been on the front lines of response. They are the healthcare workers, innovators, they're researching vaccines, pioneering treatments, they're leading us toward a safer world and inspiring the next generation of girls to be forces of good in science and tech. And for all these women, there was but one thing in common, the readiness and preparedness. So coming to the way forward in the world of volatility, we have to have preparedness with knowledge and skills. And here comes uncertainty. So talking about uncertainty, to handle uncertainty, we must collect and interpret, share and invest in information through information analysis networks. We need to exchange and interact more. We need to find out, collect data. For instance, in Bangladesh, if you consider Bangladesh's context during this pandemic, Bangladesh's e-commerce sector grew by 300% during this pandemic, which is a wow. More than half of these entrepreneurs are women. How impressive. Which was actually made possible by a few prominent social media groups. So way forward for uncertainty, be mindful, plan strategically, harmonize our skills, embrace and exploit behaviors and reactions, convert anxiety and resistance into productive energy by identifying your target. Here I'd like to add from my own experience, what I did during the pandemic. I was very resistant right before, even before the pandemic, to do trainings online. I was doing all trainings by being there physically. And it never came to me that it was even possible to do online training, though I have attended a few already, but I never thought of conducting any. And I never had the urge of doing so. I never had the urge of breaking the boundary. And one of my mentors suggested it's high time, not knowing when the pandemic is going to ever end, it's high time to open the door for change. So I took that bold step. Yes, I was encouraged and inspired by my mentors and some peers. So it's that particular bold step, that particular instance that makes all the difference. And starting from May onwards with my online training programs, I had conducted more than 100 sessions by the end of December. So that's all about handling uncertainty from my end. And then handling complexity. Some information may be available. We get information all around us. Some things are predictable, but sometimes the volume can be unmanageable and its nature may be far too complex to process. So the way forward could be restructure, develop oneself, build up adequate resources, develop yourself, apply energy and force exactly where they will be most effective. Coming to ambiguity. Things may not be as transparent as they look. An event may unfold new features and challenges. Contradictions and paradoxes have become inevitable. We require more courage, awareness, and a willingness to make mistakes. Way forward for ambiguity, we need the agility to take that bold step, the strength to make mistakes and correct ourselves, the confidence and faith in ourselves that we can learn and correct. So here's our tips for personal power. Starting with determination, we need to learn continuously. And even not knowing where this will lead us, but any opportunity to learn a new skill, to learn something new, to gather up knowledge, to move on with new knowledge and new skills, try to make space to apply them, does wonders afterwards. We never know what is there right underneath the unturned stone. Bringing in knowledge and skills that I haven't ever used before, can also make a miracle. And then find out what your skills are, find out the context, learn how to apply them, learn what is required. When it comes to self-assessment, it's very important to do accurate self-assessment. It's never wise to do an over-assessment, not an under-assessment. It's always good to be accurate, and it's essential to be accurate. to find out where we stand and the meaning of your life. The resilience comes from where we find the meaning of our life. It's always wise to get connected with your goal, to remind you of your goals, in order to create the drive inside you. Transparency develops your confidence level. It gives you the courage to move on. The determination gets higher because of the transparency you hold. And then comes the courage. Realistic optimism is always practical. We always talk about being realistic when we're being optimistic. But at the same time, it's always wise sometimes to take a high lip. A high lip takes us way ahead of what we even, compared to what we even estimated we could do. It's always good to remember our successes and failure stories. Make it a habit of reminding yourself of where you have succeeded, the situations you have succeeded, the challenges you've overcome, all the challenges, all the forces that have worked against you, and you've overcome them. You've overcome all the way down, and you're standing where you are at this present moment. Think about them. Remind yourself of those stories. Remind yourself of all the failures that you've also used to remind yourself that you have the strength to overcome your failures and move on. Just a little tip from my own end. Traveling makes a lot of difference. The most common question I face from other girls who want advice from me is, why is it always me making the compromise? That's one of the most common questions. So I often tell them that it's us who has the strength. It's you who have the strength, and it's you to decide whether you want to prove that you have the strength. If you want to prove that you have the strength, move on with it, show your strength, prove yourself, and make the compromise, show how strong you are to fight this war and move on. Because at the end of the day, you are doing the miracle. You are bringing the best into a generation. So I'd like to bring in a few of my own experience. I'm going to close this presentation, and with my experience, I'd like to close this speech. So because I'm a corporate trainer and I've been working as a corporate trainer for the last 12 years, I started my career in a very interesting state where there was only one other women corporate trainer in Bangladesh. And I was the youngest among all, even among the male, including the male and the female, I was the youngest among all. And I was often told that training is not a women's role. I mean, going to corporate houses, delivering training, facilitating training sessions, programs is not a women's job. And a woman will not be appreciated, a woman will not be accepted in a very male-dominated society. And it was me, it was my goal, it was my dream to add value to the society for the development of all, not only for women, but for all, which actually drove me through. So that was the point of my resilience that drove me through, and that gave me the idea that if a man can do this job, a woman can do it equally good. And if a man can face all the challenges and prove their resilience, a woman can do that as well. Because a woman at the same time is taking care of her family. A woman at the same time is taking care of their work responsibilities. Interestingly, as I grew up, my parents, that's something interesting I'd like to share at this point. My parents kept on telling me, do not ever brag about yourself. But I believe today is the day in which each and every woman of this world should be allowed to brag about herself, brag about how they have taken care of their family members as well as their work responsibilities. Brag about how they have defied bullies and social discriminations. and brag about how, despite all these, we're still standing tough, bringing up our next generations with the strength to face the world. So I think it is always your goal, the value you'd like to add into this world, the value you'd like to bring into the society, the development you'd like to see in yourself and the society. That should be the driving factor for every woman in this world. We should all work with our goal. We should all remind ourselves of the meaning of our life and move on. Let us all be honest of our shortcomings, and let us all brag about our strengths. Let's move on all together. It is us who can support each other. It is us, it's our strength for each other that could hold us up, that could help us move on. And it is us to make this world a successful place, a beautiful place, because we are creating the generation. Without us, it's going to be incomplete. So that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Rushdina Khan. It was awesome listening to you. I mean, the VUCA word, I mean, this word is something that we started listening to, a few years ago. And what best is we all experienced the VUCA world in 2020, right? In all the fields, absolutely in all the fields.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and what I would also, like to add upon what you have, I'll just summarize. Like what I understand is believe in yourself. What you mentioned, know your strengths, and what is important is realizing your strengths and taking action. So when you believed in yourself, you could be that corporate trainer, and today you are. So I think this is so inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. In your honor, a cluster of 2 saplings have been planted at Sundarbans National Park, West Bengal, India. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you, Rushdina Khan. Thank you.
I'm very honored. Thank you so much for having me over. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So excellent sessions and insights by each of our speakers. It is said that fun helps to get our mind be more attentive. Do you all agree? So it's time to have some fun now. I would like to call upon women leaders and volunteers from PMI Pune Deccan India chapter to engage us with some exciting games. Sangeeta Kanse, an active chapter leader handling the VP Finance portfolio and also member of Women Engagement Committee, along with Ritu Sagar, core volunteer with PMI Pune Deccan chapters, Women's Week, and also Mayuri Soni, a volunteer and core member of Pune Women's Week. Welcome you all. Over to you.
Thank you, Saili. And happy Women's Day, everyone. So today, with guidance from Sangeeta and along with Mayuri, Dipti Sagar, we will be celebrating the women achievers across the globe. And we would also like to add some fun element to today's celebration with some project management fundas and GK questions. So I'll just put up the presentation for you all. All right, so yes, let's celebrate the achievements and salute the passion. So Mayuri, would you like to go ahead with this slide?
Thank you, Dipti. Good evening all. Wishing all ladies happy Women's Day. I am Mayuri. I'm an IT professional working as a delivery manager at _voice with 8 years of work experience. I'm associated as a volunteer with PMI Pune Women's League. So let's have some fun and enjoy this day together. So you all might be wondering how to play virtually. So don't worry at all. We have kept it very simple. Questions will be displayed on your screen and you can post your answers through chat window within 20 seconds. Make sure 20 seconds is a time limit for your answer. Also, I would like to tell you that please post your answers in chat with everyone option so that everyone can enjoy this together. So let's begin with our first activity. So, as the name suggests, underscore picture will be displayed. So, pictures will be displayed on your screen and you need to identify the picture relates to which project management concept. So, here we are with our first picture. I could see three pictures are combined together. So one hint which I can give you is a three-word concept in project management field. So anyone who can guess this?
Okay, so three letter.
Yes. It's a three-word concept. So we have got root cause analysis. You can try it some more. Okay, I will give you one more hint. The hint is it's a hierarchical decomposition of a total scope.
Yes, it's all about getting your hands dirty, I believe, when we do the structuring of a project. And I think we have the answer, Mayuri.
Yes, it's work breakdown structure. Many of us has answered it very rightly. So here comes our next picture. Oh, I love this beautiful color. So what do you think? This is a one-word project management concept.
Yeah, and I think that was a quick one, Mayuri. Someone just guessed it right.
Okay, we have got most of the correct answer. It's bottleneck. Okay, let's move on to our next question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
It's waterfall. You have guessed it right. Most of them are guessing it right. I think this was a simpler one.
Yep.
Okay. So we have next picture. Okay.
Looks like
we have got the correct answer.
Yes.
Most of you. This is amazing. Yeah. I mean, most of them are giving correct answers. Timeline. Yes, timeline is the correct answer. So, I can say it's a two-word concept. Okay, QM, okay, kickoff meeting. We are getting answers within 10 seconds, I suppose, Dipti.
That's true. That's true. No worries.
Brilliant. Yeah.
So we have some very, very good project managers on board here. Let's move on to the next.
Correct, Dipti. It's kickoff meeting. So here comes our next picture. Okay, teamwork. You're closer. I can say, but teamwork is not the correct answer. I can give you one hint. It starts with C. First letter is C. Okay, someone has answered it.
Yes. It's all about working as a team together, I think.
So, it's okay, Dipti, we have got most of the right answers. So, it's collaboration.
Okay, we'll move on to the next one.
Yes. Okay. Even here, I could see two pictures. We have got, okay, brainstorm, someone has answered brainstorm, risk management, stakeholder management and risk management, group discussion, okay. Any more guesses? I can say most of them has answered first word correctly. I'm waiting for the correct answer. Okay, I'll give you one more hint. Yeah, we have got one answer correct. Okay. So the correct answer is risk mitigation. I think this was tough one for all of us. I think so. So, what do you think? Who might be this person? I think most of us might be playing this role in our company.
True.
Yes, that was
We
actually
all
within
know
5
who we
seconds,
are.
Aditi.
True.
Correct. So it's project manager.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on to our next picture. Okay, uncertainty. Okay. Yes, we have got few answers right. If anyone wants to try more. Okay, so crashing. Okay, let's move on. I think this is the last one.
Yep.
Here we are getting answers within 5 seconds. Correct answers, I must say. Okay.
Yep.
The correct answer is slippage.
Slippage.
Most of you are right.
So yeah, so good, Mary. So we through with the project management pandas, and as we could see, there were so many good project managers around and could guess the answers. Yes, and they could also look at the hints that played for the picture. So let's move on to the next section, guys. Yeah. So guys, the next section would be Who Am I? And here we'll be displaying some successful women professionals pictures, and you have to guess who these ladies are. All right, so here goes the first one. She has been in the news recently, quite some time. So any guesses? Well, she works for a space agency, just to give you a hint.
Yes. So any guesses? Okay, we have got one answer of Swati Mohan. Okay.
Let's give them. She has an Indian origin, is another clue that I can give.
Okay.
So, yep. So we got the answer at the last minute. So that's Bhavya Lal, acting chief of staff, US Space Agency. So a good guess. Moving on to next. So I'm sure many of you would know this pretty lady from Bangladesh. Oh, lovely. That was the first one.
This was very
That's
fast.
Rubaba Jawla. Yep. So she is country MD for Oracle Corporation. The next one is this. She's one of the Indian women entrepreneur, and we have answers pouring in. Yes, she's Kiran Majumdar. So she is MD and chairperson for Bicon Limited. Next one. I'm sure our Sri Lanka counterparts would know her.
Yes.
Any guesses, guys?
Okay.
She is from Sri Lanka. She's not Sheryl Sandberg. And she likes to work for animals welfare.
Correct. That was a good hint.
Yep. All right, any guesses? Okay. You're up with the timer in place. So yeah, she is Otara Gunawardene from Sri Lanka, and she's founder of Odell, Embark and Otara Foundation. Next one. It's another pretty lady from Bangladesh.
Yes.
Oh, lovely. Yes. Any
Okay, we
guesses?
have got few correct answers as well.
Yeah, that was quick. Yes, so she's Farzana Chaudhary, and she's MD and CEO for Green Delta Insurance. All right, thank you guys. So we will move on with the last and the most famous personality that all of us would know. Any guesses?
Yes.
Lovely,
Okay.
yes. I was expecting some answers from boys there. Yes, she's Jacqueline Fernandez, and like me, many of us may not know that she's from Sri Lanka. So she's Jacqueline, and she has been Miss Universe Sri Lanka pageant for 2006 and one of the famous Bollywood actresses. All right, moving on to next section. Over to you, Mayuri.
Okay, the section 3 is all about word shuffling. You need to shuffle and arrange the letters which will be coming in front of your screen, and you should create a word which should correspond to project management concept. So here we are. Raise in work. So I will give you one hint. This is a 2-word, and
any guesses?
Okay, so I will give one hint as well. He is accountable person when something goes wrong in our project. So guys, any guesses? Project manager.
Well, project managers actually own everything. So this is someone specific.
Specific to, when something goes wrong.
Correct. We have got a couple of guesses there, I guess. Lovely.
Okay. Lovely.
That's
we have
the
got
correct one.
right answer. Risk owner. Okay. So let's move on to our second. Okay. Anger can jam petrol. Okay.
That's a lovely one.
But I must say, okay, this is a 2-word, and this person is responsible end to end.
Yes, some of them find it difficult, but some of them have guessed it right already.
Okay. That's the correct one. Project manager. Okay.
Yes.
Let's move on to our next one. Rank avoid ice. Okay.
Cool. That was.
I have got the correct answers. It's risk avoidance.
Yeah.
Next one is her takes old. So we need to interact with this person every time
Oh,
and have
lovely.
to make without any hint they have guessed it correctly.
Correct.
That's lovely. Okay.
And next. Oh my
This is
God,
the
even
last
before you could
question.
announce it, people are
Yes.
enjoying it. Lovely.
So before I could announce, we have got the answer. It's slippage.
All right, let's give them a chance with this hard one.
I think this is the last one.
Yep.
Poem can't change the men's age. Okay. So everyone is little bit closer, but we have not got the correct answer.
Right.
It's a 3-word concept.
Yeah. 3 words, guys. You already have one word on screen. Is another clue that I can give.
Actually, many of them. Okay.
Roughly, we've got an answer. Yes, it is change management.
Management. I hope you all have enjoyed this section of fun as well. Are you guys enjoying it, by the way?
Yes, lovely.
Okay,
all right, so
we got
guys,
one more.
last section that we all like, which is general knowledge. But yeah, it's always gonna be about women. Today we are celebrating Women's Day. So let's move on to the last part of our quiz. And it's gonna be interesting one, just rattle your brains a little bit. All right, so the first question is, who is the first and the only woman to get 2 Nobel Prizes?
Interesting one.
Please say Marie Curie. Oh, lovely. That is nice.
It was very quick.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is Marie Curie. And she was the first woman to receive 2 Nobel Prizes. Next question. Which country was the first to grant women the right to vote?
This is quite interesting.
India, New Zealand, Sri Lanka. Okay.
Okay.
2 more guesses.
2 more guesses.
So. Nobody has gone to see yet. Okay, I'll make the life easier for you guys. Some of you have guessed it right. Okay. And the right answer is New Zealand. Third question, what were the root demands of the women which germinated the idea of Women's Day?
This is quite interesting.
Yeah, most of us will think it is all of the above.
Okay, you have already given one hint, Dipti.
All right, let them take the chances. Let's see what the correct answer is. The answer is better pay and voting right. And here comes her question. In some regions, the Women's Day is celebrated wearing the ribbons of which color?
We have mixed answers, Dipti, here.
Yes. Many go with pink, but yes, the pink is most closest to our hearts. Yes. So the correct answer is not red, it's purple. And many of you guessed it right. Thank you. Last question, guys. Who is the first woman prime minister in the world?
Okay, in the world.
Somebody has guessed it right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So some more guesses we need. Come on, you can try.
Let me just wipe out the incorrectness. Yeah, many of you have guessed it right. It is Sirimavo Bandaranaike from Sri Lanka. All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the quiz. And yeah, to conclude the quiz section, I would like to show this quote to all of you, which I really liked, and no better day than today. There is no force more powerful than a woman who is determined to rise. And I'm sure you all will agree to it. So yeah, here's to the spirit of unstoppable force called women. And with that, I would request Akhila to share the video that we have made for our 11 women. Yep. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Sangeeta, Mayuri, and Deepthi, for the wonderful and interesting games. Especially, we felt that sitting in different parts of this country, we were playing together these games, and it was really a fun session, and we really enjoyed it. And next, it's my pleasure to introduce a well-known personality, Ms. Otema Yirenkyi, Vice President Global Engagement, PMI. Otema Yirenkyi drives PMI's customer-centric sales and marketing channels. She focuses on stakeholder growth and customer delight to solidify PMI's global impact through regionalization. Otema's background encompasses sales, business development, and marketing, with more than 20 years of experience leading global teams, transforming organizations, and delivering business results within the technology and telecom sector. Welcome you, Atima, for the closing keynote address.
Thank you. I am just going to share the slides that I presented. So if you just give me a minute, hopefully I have control. So good. Hopefully you can see my screen. So wonderful. We've had an amazing evening together, and we've talked about D&I, personal power, living in a VUCA world. And I just wanted to kind of close it off about the road ahead and how do you actually have inclusive leadership. You know that PMI's winning aspiration is to empower people to make ideas a reality. And in your region, you're doing amazing things, uniquely facing the challenges. And in this space today, where we are amongst women, we've had the ability to share on how you can rise, what you can do to be empowered, and how you can grow and participate and aspire for your respective reality. So I want to talk a little bit in the closing around how do we empower ourselves, right? And what does empowerment mean to you? So just reflect for a moment and think about how can you be made stronger? What is it that you can be doing to rise in your chosen area of project management or as a change maker? And I love this quote from the famous American poet Maya Angelou from the poem called I Rise. And it says, but still like air, I'll rise. And that is the sense. And when I think about that piece, I think about how natural air is. And women rising is such a natural thing. It's what should be, right? Reaching the top, having the ability, getting the support. That's what should be, as natural as the air that rises. And so you've seen that success, right, in India, right? I thought it was fascinating to see these women scientists helping to drive the accomplishment of putting that satellite into orbit in Mars. You have successful women from the region, Indra and Noor, who grew up in Chennai, went to the University of Madras, and then became the CEO of PepsiCo. So there are clear models of women who are rising, who've been empowered, who are breaking through. And then you have a futuristic leader like Sheikh Hasina. And think about how she took early decisions for the citizens of Bangladesh that allowed them to be evacuated from China and then brought to Bangladesh in a way that helped to screen and quarantine the right people. So women making decisions and impacting our world. And let me tell you a little bit about my story, right? And as you can see, I've worked with a lot of blue chip companies, and I haven't been a PM in the traditional sense, but more of a change maker, leading large projects. And at IBM, I had the opportunity to be effectively sponsored into a great international project that allowed me to work with Bharti Airtel as they did their geographical expansion into Africa. At Microsoft, I took the reins of Microsoft Ghana and became the first woman to lead a Microsoft organization within Africa. And I managed the P&L and I led a team of men. And as you can see, most of my career has been in the technology area, which is predominantly male. And how did I succeed even when I moved into telco, which was I focused on building and upskilling myself. So I think within the PMI environment, there's tremendous opportunity to continue to build your skills and capability because competency is undisputable. And then very importantly, I networked. And I think if you think about the opportunity you have in the chapters within PMI to grow and meet other women, but other colleagues who are doing fantastic things and they can help to be, and I love this expression, either your squad, right? So who do you have that supports you? Who's your cheerleader? And then can guide you in the ways in which you are not as strong, that you have challenges. So I have a squad of people, and I've had them for more than 10 plus years, who help to shape and guide me. So that could be a great takeaway. And then now I'm currently at PMI, leading a global operation. As they say, I follow the sun, right, from Australia to the US, where we are trying to grow and impact 10x the project management professionals and those beyond as change makers, to upskill them, giving them the latest tools to have transformative and impactful projects. And the one thing that I think is really important, and you've heard my colleague Megan mention it, it's around the power skills. It is so important in these times, not to just to build on your capabilities, but to build on your, it used to be called your soft skills, and these are your power skills, right? So things like cultural awareness, as you're working in more global organizations, are you culturally aware? Do you have a lifetime learning mindset? Are you technically proficient? Are you creative? Are you collaborative? These are some of the skills that help to really help you to, if you will, rise and make those breakthroughs. So when I think about myself, I think one of my power skills is around collaborative leadership. I'm able to work across the globe, work with many diverse communities and people to have the impact we need. And I often always listen to the customer, right? Their voice is so important to what we develop as products and then sell. And then I've always been passionate about digital and innovative things within technology that help to bridge divides that exist. So those are some of the power skills. So I would say to you this evening, when you are home just reflecting on this conference, think about what are your power skills and what skills do you want to gain to help yourself to grow and to rise within your profession. So in closing, I want to say to you, build a better future, the one that you want to see. And the call to action is participate in your PMI chapter, right? Build on those power skills that I shared, network with intentionality. And that means networking with the outcome of how can I grow? What skills can I build? Whom can I meet that can then support me to be a sponsor, to open doors and to show me the possibilities, right? And then seek out that mentor or sponsor, as I said, that will help to guide your career. And then I think when you're doing all of that, it helps to make your aspirations a reality. So I want to thank the team who's done an amazing job today, sharing with the speakers, the games. I felt very energized and ready to continue to rise. So on that note, I'll say thank you and turn it back to our host.
Thank you so much, Otema. I mean, these pointers, I think, are so important. You know, each one of us has a skill, probably. But to identify that power skill, take action, and have somebody mentor us throughout would make a difference, definitely. And that probably will, eventually today the rise of women is being looked upon like, oh, this lady is doing something great. But as we rise all, eventually, I think it will be as natural as the air, how you mentioned. So we hope the day comes soon. Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure and very insightful to have you here. In your honor, thank you. In your honor, a cluster of 2 saplings have been planted at Sundarbans National Park, West Bengal, India. Thank you so much. We will to now know more on the Women Engagement Committee. I call upon Vijayalakshmi Ramachandran, an active volunteer from PMI Chennai chapter and member of Women Engagement Committee. Vijayalakshmi Ramachandran, over to you to throw some light upon the way forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally. So what a wonderful day. Hope you all enjoyed this entire evening. So there is a lot of insightful questions that came up in this whole of this session, isn't it? Can we quickly understand from you what is the one question that you really wanted to take away from this session? Fast fingers. There are about 170 plus 200 people are there in this program now. So we heard from all our panelists. So what are those insightful questions that you think that you should take the takeaway from today's session? So in fact, for me, if you look at, yeah, very good. I'm seeing a lot of keywords coming up. Very good. Empower, UKA, rise like air. Okay. So if you ask me, like the session really gave a lot of insightful questions, like why am I doing what I'm doing? Okay, whom am I answerable to? And where should I look for my mentors? And where should I draw my motivation from? So what really empower means to me? So all these are really, really important questions for us to introspect. Okay. Coming to, so having heard all this, what next for us? In this, from the interactions we have had with you through the events, surveys, social media, and from our learning from the past year. So here is our proposal for 2021. So in our objective to promote women to rise from members to volunteers to board and to empower them in project management, we have arrived at 4 themes: communicate, collaborate, cultivate, and celebrate. So our objective is to have close connect with the chapters and seek their feedback in coming up with a way forward for the women community, have frequent interaction and connect with the women community, and celebrate the success stories. So this is our objective, and this is our proposal, which we will be interacting with every chapter and then formulating in the next few months or days. So in this, if you look at the frequency with which we are interacting with the chapters and getting the feedback from the members, volunteers, and we want to increase that and also improve the connect with the women participants and members. So with all that, thanks. I'm from Chennai chapter, Vijayalakshmi. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you, Vijayalakshmi Ramachandran. And I definitely believe that every one of us who has not joined the chapter yet will definitely join the chapter and start working on our volunteer skills, on our PMI skills, on the project management skills, and build ourselves. We have a special message from Brantlee Underhill, Managing Director, North America, a leader, a coach, and a strong advocate of diversity and inclusion. Let's watch the message. Thank you, dear Brantlee, even though you couldn't join us here, but then you were so kind to send this message, this inspiring words to us. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite Ms. Swati Damle, chapter leader at PMI Mumbai chapter and member, Women Engagement Committee, to propose the vote of thanks. Hi, Swati. I'm sorry, you are on mute.
Good evening, all. On behalf of PMI South Asia Women Engagement Committee, I'd like to thank you all who have enthusiastically attended this event today to celebrate International Women's Day with us. Special thanks to Megan Speight and Otema Yirenkyi for giving us valuable guidance and insight through their keynote speeches. I'd like to thank Anita Peter for taking time through her busy schedule, and we are all impressed to sense the positive energy from her speech. Thanks to Rushdina Khan for her wonderful speech, and we are glad to know from her regarding the key elements of her successful career journey. Next, I would like to thank our Regional Managing Director, Dr. Srini Srinivasan, our Regional Mentor, Girish Kadam, and South Asia team, Abhishek Sharma, Nisha Nandakumar, and Priya Avsare, for all the support given to us in Women Engagement Initiative, as well as to make this event successful. Thanks to all our 11 chapter presidents for their continued support for this initiative, and special thanks to our regional social media team for generating awareness of the event on LinkedIn and Facebook. Many thanks to PMI Pearl City Hyderabad Chapter Board for sponsoring the Grow Tree certificates and demonstrating commitment to a greener environment. I would further like to mention few words of our dedicated efforts of our volunteers who have contributed in success of this event. Saili Pradhan from Mumbai chapter and Nimmi George from Kerala chapter for anchoring the event. Dipti Kshirsagar and Mayuri Soni from Pune Deccan chapter for bringing in lots of fun through an inquisitive quiz. Sai Bhadra and Ashwati Vishnu from Kerala chapter for technical support in video presentations. Last but not least, planning and efforts of all our Women Engagement Committee members. Yes, we have made it happen, and let's look forward for more exciting events further. The theme of this event is Choose to Rise. We can rise and move towards completeness only when we sense and express gratitude towards all those who have knowingly or unknowingly contributed in our success where we are today. Let us express gratitude to all the great thinkers, philosophers, and great visionaries worldwide who have contributed for rising the humanity above any kind of bias or discrimination. Empowerment is to sense the power within us. It is regardless of gender, religion, nationality, and any intellectual or social background. So let us pray that such a great power may manifest through us. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Swati, for recognizing all the volunteers and the Women Engagement Committee team to put up such a beautiful event. Thank you so much. A couple of announcements here. This event is eligible for 2 PDUs. The PDU information is displayed on your screen. Please self-claim the PDUs on PMI portal.
A recorded version of this webinar will be available to all participants shortly.
PMI chapters are exciting community professionals and a great platform to network, volunteer, and continue your professional development. We urge you to join the chapter nearest you.
The event is not over yet. For the next part of this event, we invite you to join our chapter leaders and special guests on the exciting Wonder App networking platform. We urge all of you to make use of this networking opportunity and connect with old friends and make some new friends.
Link to this platform is put up in the chat window. Just click and network. The instructions to navigate the Wonder app are displayed on the screen. Over the next 30 minutes, do not forget to ask questions and indulge in discussion.
We would love to hear from you. Please provide your valuable feedback while exiting the WebEx. Once again, thank you each and everyone for joining us in this celebration. Just believe in yourself and rise. This is Nimmi George
and Saili Pradhan.
Have a great evening. Stay safe.
Looking forward to meeting and greeting you soon on the Wonder App. Take care, everyone.